Oh, good evening. Welcome to another riveting edition of, what is sure to be another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat, starring me, your host, Buddy Thayer, paranormal investigator. Take my hand, boys and girls. Let's walk into the field of the paranormal. This evening, very special show, guys. We have, usually I have a guest on that's either a ghost guy or a ghost girl like myself, a ghost guy like myself, or a ghost girl, whatever, or a ghost, what is it, like fluid, no gender assignment, or a UFO researcher type person, or a Bigfoot person from time to time, or a cryptid person from time to time, or a psychic medium. Tonight, we bundle them all up together into one, and that's tonight's guest. More on him very soon. So it's been a rough week, boys and girls. I've been battling bronchitis. I went back to work today and felt all this glorious energy and threw myself at the gym and like, oh Lord, and I almost died on the floor a few times and on the assault bike a few more times, but I made it through, like all good things. And like all good things, I had to come home. Oh guys, it's been a long 10 days since I sipped the sweet nectars. Actually, should I say 7? I had a beer on last week's show. Sipped the sweet nectars of some beautiful craft ale. I'm drinking Fade to White, which is kind of sad. Proclamation Ale Company, they closed their doors this past Sunday after being the OG of craft brewers here in Rhode Island for well over a decade. Lori Whittam, we thank everything you've done for craft beer and for craft beer drinkers and for the industry. You have no idea. So anyway, this show isn't the beer show. The beer show is this right here, Three Dudes Brews. That's my other podcast. It features myself, the loving and hopeful Costas, and he puts the Ed in bread, Ed. The three of us travel from brewery to brewery. We dive into craft culture and identity and insight and all that shit, and beer, of course, or wine or distilling, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be beer, although it should be, or sometimes cider if we're feeling a little bit fancy. But we just want to like spread the word about great beer and what great brewers like Lori and Dave Whittam were and what they do for. It's not about alcoholism. It's about control and about enjoying great craft and about supporting local businesses. So please run out there and, you don't have to be a beer drinker, but support the people around you and the businesses around you. So usually I break into sports first, but, as you can see, I'm a Red Sox fan and I have nothing to look forward to whatsoever. We are almost the worst team in all of Major League Baseball, and they are an embarrassing shit show. And they can't even, I don't think they can dig themselves out of this. It's just going to be another year for the Sox. It's a long season in baseball, unfortunately. I am going to suffer, and you guys are going to suffer right along with me for the next couple months until football starts, where you'll suffer for much longer because I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Dolphins fan, and that team also sucks as well. Brings me great pains and disdain to be a sports fan, especially here in New England, where I had like the Bruins and the Celtics. Oh, they're in the playoffs. Celtics are a great team. And then the Celtics lost in the first round to the friggin' Knicks. I digress. So I really don't have any great sports shit to offer you guys this week because I'm in I'm in a world of shit, if you will, in the sports world. So nothing great. I mean, there's a few like, oh, hey, the Dolphins got this, the Dolphins got that. I'm not going to put any faith, hope, or love in the Dolphins until they prove themselves to me. So tonight, in the opening 15 minutes of my show before I welcome my guest, instead of talking sports, I'm going to talk about my second love other than ghosts, beer. So my other podcast, Three Dudes Brews, like I said, we do the live show, not the live show, we do the pre-recorded show month to month. We pop out a new one from different breweries all around Rhode Island, Mass, Connecticut, New England, if we could. We're going to branch out into Vermont. Oh, God, I'd love to go to Vermont. And Maine. Oh, my God, I'd love to go to Maine. And different breweries and spotlight, things that people do. Also, we have a live podcast that we do about twice monthly, and we have on a local craft beer enthusiast. This week I got double booked, but I had to, next week's show will feature the manager from Proclamation Ale Company. Will join us and talk a little bit about the love that went into the brewing of this Rhode Island landmark, boys and girls. 2 weeks after that, on June the 4th, holy hell, I've been watching this guy for like 30 years on TV, Charlie Moore, the Mad Fisherman. I don't know, if you're not from New England, you don't know, or and never watched Nesson, you have no idea who I'm talking about right now. This guy is awesome. He puts like energy and hope into fishing shows. You don't want to fall asleep. You want to go out there and fish. Right. So this is a guy, I've been like worshiping this guy for like 30 years on TV. Now he's going to come on a podcast with me and drink beer. You want to see more about Three Dudes Brews? Let me show you guys a little where you can find us. So I don't have to continue to talk about us on the show. You can just go and hey, like this is this guy Buddy on Three Dudes Brews. I'm gonna share screen. I'm gonna do this. Let's see. There it is. Google search. So you Google search either the word Three Dudes Brews or the number three and then Dudes Brews. And on the Goog, and this is what you're gonna come up with. So this is our website right here, Three Dudes Brews, new home. You can find out about us a little bit, our podcasts, our vodcasts, if you will, our beer reviews. It hasn't been updated, boys and girls, in all honesty, in about 6 months. But for the real bread and butter, you go to YouTube, right? Three Dudes Brews. Here we go. Hey, look, there's Buddy. There's me. That's me right there. That's Ed in the middle, and that sexy bitch on the right. That's Costas. Together, we are Three Dudes Brews. So you come to this page. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button because that's how we do stuff. And then we have these shorts. This is like Ed will come on and like he's shoveling snow, he's drinking beer, he's shoveling more snow, he's drinking beer. It's fun. And then you go up here to like, all right, so we could go to where we go. We're gonna go to the bottom here. Hold on, buddy. Scan down a little bit. Our creative playlist. So here's our last call. This is our all live shows, our craft beer enthusiasts, our specials, which are like we did like a cider challenge, we did like we were going to do a wing challenge. All that stuff is on there. Our brewery episode. So you click on this one. That's one of our last ones. There's my sexy face. There's me chasing the chicken. There's me with more beer. Anyway, guys, it's a lovely thing. It's simply to spread the love about amazing craft beer, amazing small businesses here in Rhode Island and New England. And that beer is not just that yellow piss that your Uncle Frank used to drink. There are so many different styles and varieties that you don't know about that it would blow your mind. I met this girl a couple months ago. I'll tell you this quick story. And we're talking, we're chatting, right? Hold on, let me take a sip. Oh my God, I love it. And we're gonna meet up somewhere. I'm like, you want to meet up for like a couple of drinks? You want to chat at a local establishment? We start talking about beer. She's like, oh, I don't really like beer. I'm like, well, you haven't had beer, honey. So we met at a brewery in the Bucket called Crooked Current, one of the smallest breweries here in the state of Rhode Island, one of the only women-owned breweries in the state of Rhode Island, and really small, about the size of like, I don't know, like 2 rooms, maybe like I don't know, maybe like 40 by 40 feet, this bar room. And we sat there, we tried each one of her beers, and each one of them, after each one, she's like, oh, that was really good. That was beer. I'm like, that was beer. Welcome to the world. And it will blow your mind what's out there. So support local business, support local beer, support Three Dudes Brews if you can. We do stuff for charity. It's a good time. But that's all I really got about that right now. So the time is it's about 8:17. Joining me this evening, my guest, please hold. I would be normally bringing out my co-host, Jai. Jai is unfortunately, like myself, sick. Her whole house is sick. I'm like, hey, I got it. I've been like choking up 9 gallons of phlegm. Not to be gross, and battling fevers and illness for the last 5 days or so. So I get it. So Jai is taking the night off. Jai, we hope you feel better, dear. Joining me this evening on my guest, I need a sip. This is a bit of a long intro, boys and girls, so kind of stick with me here. I guarantee it'll be worth the wait. My guest this evening, New York City-born researcher, broadcaster, entrepreneur, author, and speaker known internationally for his work in UFOs, paranormal investigations, cryptids, conscious studies, remote viewing, and unexplained phenomena. With a background in global finance and a degree in international finance from Pace University, he has worked with initiatives involving the IMF, which I'm sorry, I have no idea what that is, World Bank, and the top Wall Street broker dealers before transitioning full-time into media research and business development. A lifelong investigator since 1977, before I was born, he has spent many decades conducting hands-on field research into UFO encounters, Bigfoot / Sasquatch, Dogman, hauntings, psychic phenomena, and conscious exploration. He is the founder and director of the New York State UFO Project, the New York State Sasquatch Organization, the New York State Dogman Project. He is the creator and host of the fast-growing YouTube show Third Eye Live, where he explores Third Eye Awakening. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk to this guy. Hidden knowledge, UFO, disclosure, consciousness, intuition, and the paranormal with compelling guests from around the world. He has appeared on major media platforms, including the Travel Channel, Discovery Plus, UFO Witness, Spaced Out Radio, documentaries, Jesus, buddy, podcasts, and conferences across the United States. He is also a published author, musician, artist, remote viewer, psychic medium, and branding entrepreneur. You see what I'm saying? This guy is almost like a trifecta, and then some in the paranormal. Where did I leave off? He's a psychic medium and branding. Okay. His latest book, Words and Muses, A Lyrical Life of Poetry, is available on Amazon. Known to many as Sir Bryan. Please welcome to the show, boys and girls, Sir Bryan Bowden. Bryan, how you doing?
I'm good. I just that was the short version, by the way.
Oh, that's fantastic, dude. That wasn't too long.
No, I had a longer one, and I think you had my buddy Al on.
Yeah, I'll say in Santa Maria, right?
Yeah, Santa Riga.
I butcher everybody's name. I apologize.
No, you can call him whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
I call him sometimes Santagra, asshole, whatever. When you have buddies, you can just do.
All right,
you bust their chops. But yeah, I had a longer one, and he would go, typical. You had another paragraph. I'm like, yeah, I did.
All right, Bryan. So, I don't know where to start. Tell me, where did it start for you? Was it a mediumship? Usually, mediumship kind of starts early, or ghosts, or aliens, or Bigfoot, Harry and the Hendersons, or tell me, how did it start for you, guy?
It started watching, horror films, monster movies, reruns on TV, before cable.
Yep.
When it was free, and you download.
Move to the left. TV.
Move to the left. Okay,
yep.
Stay there. Abbott and Costello.
Yep.
And then it went into other programs that there were so few that came out, but the one that sticks to me is In Search Of.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that with Spock. Leonard Nimoy.
Spock. Yep. Leonard Nimoy Spock.
Yep.
And always wearing a turtleneck, and I don't think anybody looks good in a turtleneck.
It was like the first paranormal show, really, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there was other shows. There was like Kolchak, who was like that reporter, Gavin. I forgot his last name. And he would come up against like vampires and mummies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I always liked that stuff. And the closest thing we got, because my mother was a teacher, we got to go to a summer camp in northwestern Connecticut.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, not
So
too
for
far.
free, sleepaway camp.
Hmm.
We were poor folk, so we didn't have the money to send. Sleepaway camp.
You
I
do
think
what
it
you
was
can,
like,
though. You do what you can, right?
you do whatever you can do. You can do, but because my mother was the head of the girls' side, there was two sides: a girls' side and a boys' side.
Yep.
For years, my older brother went there. Then I went there. I mean, I was in northwestern Connecticut from like go. I was born July 4th, so
Oh, wow.
after about a month, they brought me up to camp. So I've been up in that town. It's the town of Winstead, actually.
Yep.
And I did the calculations. I've literally spent 12 years of my life in that town,
Oh, wow.
if you add them all together.
Mhm.
So I know the area by heart. I know all of Connecticut by heart. We used to go shopping, from New York. So it started with those shows, and then it branched off into. I mean, I saw a UFO in camp.
Oh,
About
wow.
a bunch of us did. We were I don't even know how old we were. It was late 70s,
Yep.
and we saw this, like the full moon was out. And if you're not in a city, or if you live in a city and you go to the country, you kind of can see more of the stars.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I go to northern Maine every year to camp
Yeah.
remotely. I can see like
Yeah.
so much more than I see here in Rhode Island. So yeah,
Exactly. I mean, I had family up in Portland. We used to go to Maine.
great.
It was, my dad wasn't Mr. Adventurous. We'd go to Maine. We'd stay at in Freeport in these cabins, the Maine
Oh,
Idol.
yep.
Place.
I know Freeport.
It was
I went there for
nothing.
beer last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Or we drive up to Canada. Yeah. Hey, exciting. Hey, we're gonna go look at Eskimo art.
Right.
But I'm always scanning the skies. We didn't have these freaking handheld computers.
Right. Oh, exactly. You're right. I remember being a kid, not even knowing what it's, and now I don't know if I could live without it. So
I think the world
probably
would
could,
place
but
without it. But
yeah.
but yeah, it was go out, don't come until come back in the house so you see the lights come on. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I live in an apartment, so whenever we got a chance, I would stargaze. I love stars, and I was studying the stars. And a buddy of mine, we were into UFOs. Another buddy was into like monsters, and there was like one paperback book, something like, I think it was called Legends. It was a blue cover with a Bigfoot patty on it, Loch Ness Monster, and something else, and everybody read it. And then as I got older, I started studying. I was studying physics.
Yep.
And then I was studying astronomy, and I said, maybe I'll be an astrophysicist or rocket scientist or something like that. Love that. But I didn't, as I got older, I didn't want anybody owning my stuff.
Right.
So I stopped that. I went into some other things, but I started to, when I had wheels, if I wasn't trying to get a girlfriend or whatever, I was, out and about searching. I did not know that Bigfoot was anywhere near the East Coast growing up. But my first encounter happened in that summer camp.
Really?
That was late 70s. Yeah. I was in a bunk, and I'm going to try to explain it with an envelope.
Okay.
Your life easier. So when you would come in the bunk over here, it would open up, and this whole area was the bunk. And in the back top up here it was all raft. You could see the rafters. And then there were double, bunk beds all throughout. Mine was at the end, right about here. And there was a window right where my foot was.
Yep.
And so if I was lying down, I had a little bit of bunk, a lot of bunk, and then a little bit of windows, 3 foot by 3 foot window. And one night I was sleeping. It was like 3 a.m. All the lights were off in the bunk. Now it usually happens when the counselors come back from eating pizza and drinking beers in town. If they're off, they go to sleep. God bless you. I did plenty of that too. And they shut the lights off so they can get to sleep. So I knew it was late. It was probably 2, 3 a.m. I had this skunky smell, and you live up in the, in an area, you probably smell skunk all the time.
Yeah.
And the smell, and it's really musky. And so I had to go pee, and I sat up in my bunk. It was about 10 years old. And when I looked in the window, I saw something moving in my window, and I thought maybe it was tree, shadow play from the trees. Nope, it looked like a giant gorilla. It was huge. His head.
How far were you, Brian? From how far from the bunk or the bunk window was this?
He was, in all seriousness, no more than 6 inches away from me.
Wow, Jesus, that's pretty close.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God, how tall? How tall are we talking?
Well, I mean, I wasn't even thinking of talking. His head was wide, so it filled the whole entire window, and he was doing this. He was kind of looking around, this head, and I saw the brow. I saw these black eyes, big nostrils, and it looked like part gorilla, part human.
Wow.
And I know that window's pretty damn high up.
Yeah.
So how the hell is he looking in it? Like, what is he climbing on? Because there's nothing outside that bunk.
Right.
So I lowered myself in bed. And I was like, because I'm 10. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to, go out right now. About an hour later, I was going to pee on Billy Carmen, who was below me. So I slowly pulled my feet back real slow.
Yeah.
I went to the back of the bed where he couldn't see me, slid down, and I dog crawled across the bunk. And I had to cross an area on that same wall of the window. There's a door to the outside there.
And
I was like, oh shit, he can open that door or he can rip it off, whatever, and we're done. So it was really, really quiet. Went to the back, went to the bathrooms, and I know there was some windows. It was a double row of bunks. So there's a bunk in front and a little bit terraced higher up, or a few other rows, but there was a road there, and I said, if I go over to the window, he can see me. So there was one sink that didn't have any windows near it. So I peed in the sink. I'm like, I don't want to be seen. 10 years old, figuring it out, right?
It doesn't matter.
So it wasn't until I actually met Al. I got a bet from someone at work. She was like, bet you won't go to one of these meetups with all the UFOs. And I'm like, so she picked one in the city. I said, give me something closer to Yonkers, in New York, where I am. So we found one, and that's where I met Al. So I just, Al and I just, when you meet somebody and it's just like
you automatic click, that automatic,
boom, brother from a different mother.
Yeah,
he had all these stories. I didn't hear all of them. Thank God, no. He has a lot of shit there.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet.
So, and everybody's always asking, is he really telling the truth? And I'm like, I don't have any reason to not believe him. So, some people get lucky that way, whatever. But I said, you know what? I was thinking about it. I said, I had an experience back in the 70s. Let me look it up, because I later find out that there are even more Bigfoot and these cryptids on the East Coast, especially along the Appalachian Trail.
Right. That's what I come to understand, or what people say.
Yeah. They use it like a highway, and not that far from where my camp is. There's a place called Bish Bash Falls.
Yeah, I think I've heard of Bish Bash.
It's like
a hike or something, right?
Yeah, it's where Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York meet.
Yeah, okay.
And it's really interesting. One of our biggest areas that we have where the prehistoric stones and monolithic, stones are, it's down that road. Route 44 becomes 55.
Oh yeah, I know 44.
And it's not that far down there. You know the Route 44. Everybody does.
I live off of Route 44 in Smithfield, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. So you keep following.
Yeah, I know exactly 44. Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy shit that happens on that road. So
all
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and you got to understand something. Where my summer camp was, there was 280 acres.
Wow.
And there was a lake and some bunks, and they didn't use the 280 acres, but they had part of it, half a mountain. And when I say a mountain, it's not like Everest. It's
like Berkshires, right? The Berkshires.
It's the Berkshires. It's not that big. I mean, but it is a mountain.
Yep.
And so if you coming down this road that goes past the camp, the first thing you pass is a lake, a big lake. It's a reservoir. And that reservoir, in between where the reservoir is and where my camp starts, probably 300, I would say 300 to 500 yards of trees. That's
Wow.
state property where the reservoir is.
Yeah.
And so that reservoir's name is Crystal Lake.
Well, that's not too creepy at all.
Well, yes, it is the same Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I was standing there when the people came up and wanted to use the camp. And the owner was like, no, I don't want bad press or anything like that. So
Yeah. Right.
she didn't do it. Really stupid on their part, but it
Yeah.
is what it is. So that summer that I had that experience, I'm researching Bigfoot in the area. There were two separate occasions right at that reservoir where the main road goes through it. Two separate sightings of a wild man, a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
The same summer on the other side of that mountain, if you kept traveling over to the other side, you get down towards the town where 44 is.
Yeah.
There's a dam there that people use as Lover's Lane. And there was a couple there trying to smooch and, whatever, play Barry White and let's get it on.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
And a 7-8 foot wild man walked in front of their headlights.
Jesus.
Scared the crap out of them. So they reported it. So it all started gelling. And then as I looked in the area, it's not a stretch to get to some other areas within that area, 150 miles. And it's not 150 miles between where my camp is and where our site is in New York and where Bish Bash Falls is.
Yep.
I wanted to go camping over near Bish Bash Falls by Copake Lake.
Honestly, Brian, I know the area. I know, of course, New England. And like anybody who's not from New England, understand that this part of the world is like woods, mountains. Like, and it wraps around like Mass, Western Mass, and then Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Like, oh my God, there's so much remote country.
It's actually gorgeous and beautiful. All these people would go, like from the cities, would go to the Berkshires. They go to Tanglewood, which is a place to listen to music. See James Taylor. James Taylor lived up there.
I've heard that. I've heard of that before. Yeah.
There used to be a really, really great restaurant that went out of business, but I wish they were back in town. The Dakota.
So let me ask you, Brian. I personally, I've always been like a show me guy, right? I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm strictly a ghost guy, and I've had more than a multitude of experiences that tell me that I can't deny that this is not a thing. With Bigfoot, I have a little bit of trouble swallowing this, Bill, because I've never really met anybody who's had a direct experience other than Al, direct experience like yourself. There's not a lot of people out there, and then there's not a lot of people who've had experiences or have evidence or data, if you will, to suggest that it's real.
Yes. I mean, I don't have it readily available, but I have a 19.5-inch footprint.
Oh, wow.
That was picked up in Red Hook, New York, not Brooklyn. We were investigating an area where there were sightings of Bigfoot and some other things. And there was an embankment. So you go over this stream, and that stream goes into a bigger river near this college. And we're walking around. I'm looking, and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." And in the cutouts, like you'd have to go down into the towards the stream. You have to go down at least a 6-7 foot embankment. And in that embankment, it was one footprint. It was like a step, and then it looked like they took another step. And they could have done it in 2 seconds. It was a 19.5-inch print.
Wow. That's all right. So the prints are cool. The prints are kind of irrefutable for me. But there's never I'm sure you get this. There's never a body, dude. There's never fur. There's never I don't know. Hey, please. I'm sure you have an argument for this. So please.
No. I don't have an argument.
I don't want to argue, but I mean, I'm sure you have a defense for this.
No, I'm not here to defend this cryptid. I've seen it. And I wish I was able to physically have hey, give me some hair or a booger or whatever.
All right, so then let me throw this at you. Sure. I did a Bigfoot conference a few years, 3-4 years back down in Virginia. That was all with Daniel Benoit. That was pretty kind of educational. And I hear like three different things. Like one, Bigfoot is a mammal, is a living being.
Right.
Two, I hear Bigfoot could be an alien. Three, I hear Bigfoot could be related to like ghostly stuff. What are your thoughts?
So I thought it was flesh and blood all these years.
Yeah.
I said it's got to be. It's like a missing link,
Right.
right? Because we're hominids, and there is a missing link. And then
Right.
some people said Gigantopithecus because they found one in China or the skeleton or whatever.
Right. Like the Yeti, right?
Yeah, well, they're all. I mean, I'm going to tell you that there's multiple varieties of these creatures called Bigfoot.
Right. They're all different cultures. All have a different name, right?
Yeah, I mean, like there's different sizes. Like this smaller one called an Alberwitch, which is really, really small. It's like a 3 foot, 4 foot one. And then you have the skunk ape.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
And that is more baboon.
And
then you have your classic Bigfoot conical head. I'm gonna look for a footprint video that I took to make try to give you something to throw your way and make
sure.
your life easier. So there's some that look more African, there's some that look Asian, there's some that look more white or whatever. And so they're all different. But I always thought these things were flesh and blood.
Okay.
And excuse me. So until we had an investigation in 2015, it was day night up in New York State at a lake. And basically what happened is this creature, it tried to get us to go away from the area that we were in. It was myself, Al, and another guy named Bill.
Okay.
So you can feel the pressure coming. Like you would understand this. If you've ever been to an agricultural fair, like we used to go to the ocean fair, and they have they hook up their horses or their cattle to the load. And
I've been to Woodstock Fair. Yeah.
The ground starts shaking. Okay. When they used to do circuses on smaller towns, they get a big open field, put up the tents, and when the elephants would come out, you literally could feel the ground moving because you have a couple of ton elephant running around, right?
Yep.
So we're there and we feel this pressure and it's really intense. And we're separated. I'm on the right, then 10 feet from me in the middle is Al, then 10 feet from him is Bill. I'm just trying to give you the visual here.
Yep.
And at one point we're hanging out. Al's putting on the parabolic mic and he's looking around. We're just hanging out there and we hear tree knocks, two stick hitting a tree, whatever. Then we hear a rock knocks, 2 rocks responds, and it's coming from near us and around us, like hundreds of yards away, like 200 yards away, which we can see. It's pitch black, and then in the woods near us, behind us to the left. Well, me to the left. So we're hearing this stuff. We're hearing movement, and then I hear some movement on the Bill side, and Bill's sitting next to. If you're not from New England, you may not know what these small little stone walls that pockmark throughout New England and New York.
They're everywhere.
You don't know. They'll give credit to anybody, but so they're all over the place. So Bill's sitting closer to a wall like that, and we hear something go from 2 legs walking in the foliage in the leaf litter, and then all of a sudden it starts gadunk, like going at Bill. Al gets up in the middle. I get up to the right. There's nowhere for me to go.
Yep.
By me is another trail. It's a go trail. I'll die. I'm not going in that crappy water because there's nuclear shit in there.
Yeah, right.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah.
So
what'd you do?
Al and Bill's running, and I'm like, I gotta stop this guy from running. He's gonna poke his eye out. He's gonna drop dead and die, whatever.
Right.
So Al grabs him. He says, "Stand your ground." Bill's scared shitless. I go to his right, and the only thing I have is a machete, and I whip it out 3/4. I'm like, let's go. Because they're bear in the woods. There may be big cat in that area.
Yep.
And you don't know what the hell's going on. And it just stops. And Bill is, breathing heavy, whatever. And we're waiting for it. Nothing happens. We don't wait that long. We turn our lights on and we focus at the area. There's nothing. We put on, Bill has like a 6 million candle watt light. Boom. Light up this damn forest. We're looking for footprints, everything. We look to the right. We have infrared, FLIR, thermal, you name it. Nothing's appearing. And we're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that, we calm Bill down. He goes back and he sits, there's nothing there, buddy. There's nothing, whatever. I'm trying to figure this out. Where the hell did this thing go? It's a bluff charge. So I go sit back on my seat and I'm kind of scanning and trying to focus in on the area. Bill sits there. Al is walking around with the parabolic mic on, in the dish, kind of like he's, trying to pick up the other players' plays,
Yep.
Do double wide nickel to the right, whatever. He's walking around, and at that moment, we hear on the other side, like again, 200 yards from us is the top of the lake. We can kind of see it. And we hear the rock knock, clacking.
Yep.
And instead of hearing the tree knock, whatever, we hear whoop, like really loud. Whoop, whoop, whoop. 3 whoops. It is so loud it vibrates in your chest.
Jesus.
It's kind of like being in front of a speaker at a concert. Like
yep. That's me.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
And it goes whoop, whoop, and the third whoop is at the other end of the lake, which is about 2 miles down.
Wow.
And at that moment, everything in my research has changed and thank God I studied physics. The only way, no, there was not another Bigfoot down there.
Yep.
It was the same damn creature. The only way you can go to point A to point B in an instant is if you opened up a portal, you stepped in and you came out where you wanted. And that's quantum physics.
Yep.
And that is a theory that has been around for a while. Einstein, Rosen bridge. So everything changed. And Al goes, I think there's some people out here with us. And I'm like, no, you jackass. It's a freaking Bigfoot. Dummy. And whatever. So we settled down. We're like, what the heck? What's going on? And I'm just, my brain's always thinking. And I said, that rock knocked 200 yards away from us, and the response is near us. It seemed like whatever was near us was telling whatever's coming, when they could proceed or not. So they would knock together, right? And then you get a response, and you're like, okay, I can move. But when it went whoop, 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 and it went to the other end of the lake, what I thought it was saying, and I still stand by this, whoop, whoop, whoop. There are 3 of them. That's the truth. Take the long way home. And after that, the whoops stopped being where they were 200 yards away and started moving further away from us, and then started to move over to the right side. Kind of like it was circumventing where we were.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it doesn't want to be seen or.
Well, discovered. Yeah, we weren't. See, when it does a bluff charge, it wants you out of the area. When it, if it doesn't like you, like if it really not liking you, who you are, you come with us, whatever, they'll be like, no, Bryan can stay, but buddy, you got to go. And it'll throw shit at you. And it's, if you don't get the hint when they're throwing, pebbles and things are whizzing by your head and then a big stick comes down, then you're dumb. It's not you. You're not like, what the hell's going on here? They're trying to get you out. It's to scare you out.
Okay.
Because we didn't get scared out and we stayed, I think this guy got pissed. And so I'm sitting all the way to the right, 10 feet away from Al, who's in the middle, and then he's 10 feet from Bill. And we're talking a little bit, and all of a sudden I hear something crashing through the woods behind me. So I'm getting ready, like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
And then I feel the thud, boom, roll, hits my chair. I get thrown from my chair. I got one of those foldables.
Yep.
I'm like, what the F is going on? I go back, turn my flashlight on, probably about as round as this.
Yep.
Fucker threw a rock at us, a boulder. And it was kind of like, screw you guys. Like he was pissed off that we didn't move.
You didn't leave. Yeah, right.
And from that moment, I mean, I couldn't have thrown it. That was thrown.
Yeah.
And that was like nothing for this thing to throw it. And I'm gonna say it straight up. If that creature wanted to kill me, he could have done it in 2 seconds. He wasn't.
I'm sure something that large, that kind of muscular strength. So you're saying not flesh and blood? Are you saying
no? I'm
spiritual?
saying they can be flesh and blood, but they have the ability to change their structure molecularly and on a totally different wavelength and level to go into a different form of energy and then interdimensionally. And here's the thing. We've all probably learned in school that it takes more energy to convert energy from one to another.
Okay.
So if you're flesh and blood and you want to go interdimensional, it's a 2-step process. You got to stop the flesh and blood and convert it into some form of energy or plasma or some form. And if you understand Bigfoot sightings, a lot of people say, "Oh, we see these blue orbs and red orbs," and
I've heard that too. Yeah,
and they automatically assume UFOs. No, what's happening is they're changing their structure on a quantum-based level into something another molecular structure, and it's the form of energy and light, and that's why there are sparks reported. Like, oh, I saw a big flash.
Okay.
And then I saw these orbs. Yeah. You're going to see a big flash because just like, when you fly in a jet, just before it needs so much energy to get to break the sound barrier that you get up from the sound barrier, sonic boom. It's the same principle, but it's with energy.
It kind of reminds me of a guy I investigate with, my friend Joe. Joe often describe like seeing like little pinpricks of light. That's what he sees. Nobody else can see it. Joe doesn't consider himself to be a medium or have any special abilities.
No, you just
but always around that pinprick of light is always like an EVP that is like bam, spot on.
Yeah, they do that.
Is it that energy trying to manipulate whatever it is to?
They're gonna see. It gets a little bit technical, but Tesla, remember?
Yeah. I know Tesla. Yeah.
Love.
He did ghost stuff. Yeah. Radio,
which is a great band. But Tesla knew there was free energy in the atmosphere. These Bigfoot can pull the energy from, and what they do is they pull the energy from the atmosphere, but Earth. But there's also energy found in certain areas.
Yes.
Quartz stores energy. Quartz is the battery.
Limestone is everywhere, and quartz is everywhere.
Quartz
in this area.
Right. And not only is quartz a battery, but it's also like a hard drive. You can actually store information in it.
Right. So I've heard it like holds trauma sometimes too, or like
it can.
Yeah, right. So I get that. I get behind that. So go on.
You seeing this stuff and saying, where's the evidence, where's the proof, right? This explains all this stuff.
Okay.
If they're changing and converting into a different form of energy, do you think it's easier for them to pull it out of the air? Or your camera that you're taking pictures with, or you're trying to capture the Bigfoot on,
right?
Because all these things run on batteries.
Yeah, they all emit that EMF,
right? It's not even just the EMF. It's just there's a charge to all these battery packs, and this is instantaneously obtained. You can drain it if something knows how to do it and needs the energy. It's going to drain it. Now, all your cameras today have digital sensors in it. If you're draining the energy from the digital sensor, what do you think the image is going to look like when you take it?
Not that great, I would imagine.
It's going to look like a blob squatch, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
So when these creatures are aware, they know what cameras are, they know what they can do. They're going to suck the energy out of that crap first. They're going to suck it out of your cameras, your flashlights, and they're going to use all that energy to convert into whatever they need to be. So it's almost like a stealth covering.
Right. I've as investigating like ghost cases, I've heard people that, well, even myself, you feel that like like almost like a paranormal. People call it a paranormal hangover.
Yeah,
But it's
you get that at the end for the most part. But they're
yeah,
draining you.
usually at the end. Yeah.
They're draining you. It's on paranormal investigations. In order for a ghost to manifest, it needs energy.
Oh, for
Now, when it
100%.
rains or a lightning, a thunderstorm, that's great because it's
amazing.
time to get all over the place.
Yep.
But in general, it's like, wait a minute, I just put batteries in this recorder.
All right, how about full moon? Full moon, does this affect the Bigfoot? Does it affect the ghosts? Thoughts?
I think full moon is just a vehicle, well, for light, and in general.
Doesn't provide, I mean, I've worked in mental health for 25 years, Brian. I there's not enough studies to back it up, but I swear to God it affects people.
No, there's something about the moon when it's full that does mess with the gravitational pull of the earth, which will mess with so if there's the
tides,
right, and it's messing with that pressure, then we're going to get pressure in our heads and it's going to kind of make you crazy.
It does.
So I think there is something to it. I don't think it really plays on in the paranormal field or the cryptid field.
Okay. So all right, so
good visuals for movies. But so
back to Bigfoot cryptids in general, because we have some like the Pukwudgie around here, Dogman, which kind of fascinates me a little bit. What's the other one? Oh God, the one out in like West Virginia, Mothman. These all around the world. Are these all? Do you believe? Are they all like the shape shifting ability? Can they all, or are they all, or some of them flesh and blood?
No, I believe Dogman and Bigfoot are flesh and blood that can go into a light energy source and then interdimensional. They all have they have the ability to go where they want to go. I always use the example of an octopus. Okay. If you came upon an octopus not knowing it was an octopus and you watched it change its physical texture, the coloration, everything about it to blend in with a rock, you'd be like, what the hell is that thing? That's not from this planet, but it is. But unfortunately, scientists don't really we don't know how this got here. There's no reason for it to be here. So what happens is there's a lot of time with these cryptids where they appear to be invisible or they have that predator cloaking. And that is all because, let's get back into the energy. They store enough energy and they use enough energy where they can start cloaking themselves. And how they cloak themselves is it's biologic. They will it's part of soft physics and it gets a little complex, but they're able to manipulate some of the epidural area of their skin and the coloration. So what they'll do is if they add more specific frequency colors to it, they will appear in a frequency that is not visible through the human eye. So it looks like they're wearing a cloak. Remember the Predator?
Right.
I mean, that is movie magic, but things do it all the time. You ever see a hummingbird? You see a hummingbird and it's flipping. It changes color, by the way. Hummingbirds will be blue, they'll be green, they'll be like a little bit of color. What's happening is at the source where their feathers are, they're changing the makeup through soft physics or like a liquid material, and they're changing the visible light spectrum. And humans only have a small window of visible light versus other animals. So these creatures know it, and this is where they can, alter using their abilities to manipulate to do that on that end of the equation. But I mean, I didn't want to believe the Dogman stuff at all. I thought, the only guy talking about it was Al.
It's a tough pill to swallow, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he's like, bro, you gotta listen to this. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. What is this? Werewolves now? No, bro, you gotta listen to the story and whatever. I'm like, I'd pull an Al Santoriga, and this is why I keep him on here, where he would go,
I'm calling bullshit.
Al would always, that's his voice. And I always keep the sound bites. I'm like, I'm calling bullshit. I think
Yes.
full of shit. And I'm like, really, dog man? And somebody caught me talking about it. Like, I think we jumped the shark. That Fonzie episode.
Right. This seems more like
Right,
mythical or something,
Oh, it seemed like people were bored with something, so someone wanted to make up something to make some views or whatever. So I get a phone call on my phone, my cell phone. I don't give that shit out to anybody. If you have my cell phone number, that means that we have interacted, we're friends, and whatever. Because I just don't give it out. And I get a phone call, and the caller ID is all zeros, and it says USG. Now I'm not, unnerved by that because I had to call the U.S. Marshals once.
Okay.
Because some jackass who was a collector called, not for me, but another person with my name, and he said he was a U.S. Marshal, and I said, I have family in the that are feds. They don't like when you pretend to be a federal agent. They really don't look kind. Are you sure you want? I am a U.S. Marshal. I'm like, oh, okay. Idiot called from his cell phone, left his caller ID on. So I called and I reported him. And one day I got him, it was all zeros, but instead of saying USG, it was U.S. Marshal, Southern District, New York, whatever. That's their location. And so I'm like, hello. And it's like, oh, this is Detective Benedetti. I'm like, okay. So I explained it. So when I got this, I'm like, oh, maybe this guy's calling back, or I know people in the, government,
right.
places. And I pick up the phone. The guy's like, you don't believe in the dog man? And I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? And he goes, and I'm like, who is this? How'd you get my number? It doesn't matter. And he was straight up. He goes, I'm going to tell you some things. It's real. I can testify that it's real. And I've seen it. I've hunted it. I've killed it. I've captured it.
Really?
Yeah. And he goes, I'm telling you, this thing is real. What I do for the government, I work with a unit, and we are there to protect our bases and our military from these cryptids that come around, these creatures. We also do it in public. You'll see, instance where there's a wild attack. Well, guess what? We're sent in. We go. We get it. We nail it. We get it out.
Like the Men in Black almost, but not really.
It's not really like the Men in Black. It is an elite unit that literally takes care of shit that no one will believe it's real. Okay. So Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman, all these crazy things.
Yeah. Every one of them out there, yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
like every region has a different animal or cryptid.
Well, no, I mean, if you have Bigfoot in the area, you have Dogman, and if you have Dogman, you have creepy crawlers.
What are creepy crawlers?
A rake. It's a very thin, whitish, pale-ish to gray. It looks like a really weird human.
You say rake?
Rake. R-A-K-E. Okay. They've got elongated arms. They don't necessarily have. Their face looks like it's covered in plastic, like they're wearing an S&M, helmet. It's all body material.
Yeah,
they're very weird. They go after animals. They go after humans. They're very aggressive.
So I got a picture of one here, and I'm going to try and do the switcheroo so people can get a grasp of this. Share screen.
Definitely.
So a rake.
They're also known as creepy crawlers.
Creepy crawlers. That reminds me of so this thing right here, right?
Yeah, it's like that. It's not going to be sitting in your house like that.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Honestly, I would think more like ghost than or like paranormal. If I saw that sitting at the edge of my bed, but I think I'd be pretty terrified. So go on, please.
If that is in your bedroom at the time, you should be very nervous because they are aggressive towards you. They want. I have a feeling they not only flesh and blood, but they want the fear that comes from you, the adrenaline,
Yep.
And they want something to do with your soul, not getting into the religious side of it.
No, of course.
No. I'm just saying, for sometimes people are, oh, here we go with religion. But your soul carries a lot of weight,
of course,
throughout life.
Yeah.
And they know it. So they want, I believe those are interdimensional beings. There's a lot of reports of them coming out of portals.
Wow.
So a portal would be for interdimensional travel.
Yeah.
Here, they come out. And they're very aggressive. I can give you a quick little story. I have a buddy. He had a friend. He had property in Texas that he was able to investigate. It was owned by another party. And that party, when he was 13, his family's been living on the land for generations.
Yep.
A lot of weird shit there. He goes, all the time I would be in my room and I get something scratching on my screen. When I open my eyes, there's this grayish creature that kind of, it has a face, but it's like if latex was over it. And they have this weird mouth, and he's doing this come hither motion with his finger,
Yep.
And he's trying to speak like that.
Oh God.
He goes, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I would shit my pants, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. No one here is a hero, okay?
Oh God, no, dude.
So yeah, be a little bit difficult. So he said, my dad always kept a Mini 14 in the house, like 400 rounds or 200 rounds.
Oh, there you go.
So he goes, it was my 13th birthday, and there it was. And I said, hell with this. I'm not doing this shit anymore. So I got up out of the bed, and it kind of felt like he got excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, yeah, I'm coming. He comes out, grabs the Mini 14, loads it, locks and loaded. Comes right out of his porch, and his window's right off the side, sees it, and he unloads about 100 to 200 rounds in the thing. Right into it.
Wow.
This thing starts to take off. He still fires at him. The whole thing takes, he said, it was maybe 5 minutes max. This is like 2-3 in the morning.
Yep.
Dad gets up. What the you doing here?
Yep.
What the hell's going on with this? What are you doing? And he's trying, Dad, I told you about this. It was at my window. I shot him dead. And then it ran a little bit, and then it was running. I'm like, I'm shot him. The dad's like pissed off. He's, piss your dad off and wake him up in the middle of the night. All this crap. I just want to sleep.
Yep.
So they go over, and there's a blood trail, but it's not blood like red. It's a blackish liquid. And he's following. He goes, Dad, I swear I hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad's like, yeah, you hit something here. But it was all gone. It followed a little bit. It was at the window, was a lot. Then it went out further where he said there was blood splatter. And then there was a couple of drips, and then it disappeared. So these things it's kind of like rakes are like black-eyed children. Those little kids with the black eyes. Come on, let us.
Yeah, that's creepy as shit. Yeah.
They're evil.
Yeah.
Those things are evil. They're also like the Hat Man and the Shadow Person.
Yes.
Okay, they come visit you.
Yeah.
Part of that same genre. And I believe the Mothman or flying humanoids are in that whole category. So these are interdimensional beings that have discovered a way through cracks in our timeline.
Mm-hmm.
To come in and out of our timeline to feed and hunt.
So like the Hat Man, that you just said that. That just when I first got into this field, like about 20 years ago or so, my wife was working in Smithfield at a lab, and one of her coworkers was like, "Hey, your husband's he's a ghost guy." She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "You want to see a picture?" And she brought it home to me. So her brother, this lady's brother, was out in Rhode Island. He's in like Gloucester, which is western Rhode Island, very heavily wooded. He was out looking at hunting trails and looking at like deer and whatever, preparing for hunting season. And his friend and him are out there looking at different spots. and they're taking all sorts of pictures and stuff. And one of the pictures, they're about to get back in the car. There's an old Rhode Island cemetery,
Yep.
like off to the right, and then there's like the pond against the reservoir behind them. And he snaps a picture, and you see this kid's face in the door of the car, and behind him to the right, it's a man or a shadow of a man, and you can see the outline of like a long coat. You can
And
see
a
that hat.
Yeah.
You can see, dude, he's holding up his hand like, or it's holding up his hand like this, whatever, and you can see like where the fingers would be.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it was telling him to stop or like don't come any forward.
So,
Blew
yeah.
my mind. Just like I've never seen something so like real. And this is before like people had a lot of like photo editing. So I don't know.
So-
It just blows my mind.
Okay, so first I just gotta say it because you're wearing the shirt. I was born and raised in the Bronx.
Oh, I knew it. You're a Yankees fan.
I'm out. Hear me out. My father was a New York Giant fan.
Oh, Jesus.
My brothers were Yankee fans. My father's uncle was best friends with Babe Ruth.
Oh,
Gave him a ball for Murderer's Row.
Jesus, that's respectable.
But I was growing up a Red Sox fan with Yastrzemski, Rice,
yes,
Zimmer.
Yes.
So,
I was like, I knew you were from New York. I'm like, I don't want to ask him because I don't want to get into that debate.
No. I was a Red Sox fan, but I can watch the Yankees. My game is actually hockey, and I'm a diehard New York Ranger fan. I went to school up by UMass, and I actually corrected someone down here. I moved to Florida. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. And everybody up there's, we know what hockey team you guys are watching and taking care of. Yeah. But I wanted to explain it because there's a proper way. I met somebody and they had the B on, and I'm like, oh, you like hockey? He goes, yeah, I'm a big Bruins fan. I said, no, you're not. He's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? If you were a really big Bruins fan, it's not the Bruins, it's the fucking Bruins. That's what. Because all of them, that's it. You watch hockey, fucking Bruins. That's hockey in Massachusetts and Boston and Rhode Island and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
you gotta put the F-bomb in it, otherwise
either fucking or wicked
hat
somewhere.
Wicked hat. You want some Jimmy's? No, Jimmy could have his own. Sorry, I know all of it.
I'm thrilled to hear that you're not a Yankees fan or a Mets fan for that matter, because they blow too.
You know what? I mean, hockey is the only true sport in my book.
Okay, well that's fair. I'm not. I honestly, I take my client. I work in mental health, so I take my clients from time to time to Providence Bruins games, which are cheap and easy to go to. While they just lost in the playoffs, I didn't expect anything more from them.
Dude, I'm a Ranger fan. I'm surprised I don't have a gallon of freaking booze here at this one. They're the reason why I drink.
The Bruins tickets are absolutely ridiculous. I bought tickets for my father-in-law last year for Christmas. I spent like $400 for nosebleed, uncomfortable seats and balls.
When my kids were born, I got 2 daughters. I went down to Crosby's in the city, and I got both of them a New York Ranger jersey, and it's Bowden 1, Bowden 2.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
I can kind of respect that. That's okay.
I just love how like down in Florida, I'm like, I'll root for the both Florida teams because it's basically half of them Rangers anyhow. So
yeah.
But getting back to the shadow guy and the black-eyed kids, because the kid, I would wager if I saw that it's a black-eyed kid. Shadow people and black-eyed kids work in a lot of time in tandem, out in public, not in your house.
Right.
The Hat Man and Shadow Man goes into your house, and the way it works is this. I'll explain it. So, what happens is everybody that's seen the Shadow Man that I was sleeping, I got paralyzed in my bed. It scared the hell out of me, and he leaned closer to me.
It's that sleep paralysis thing, right? That's what that is.
It's technically it's a little bit of each. So mentally, sleep paralysis, they'll say on the mental health, the doctor side, but these people don't believe in any of this stuff anyhow. So even when they have an experience, they're like, I had a friend that's in the medical field. He's like, I don't know how possibly explain this
Yep.
without using some other tune. I have to use different terms because if I told people this, they think I was crazy. But so here's the thing. I had one experience with a shadow person. And that was many moons ago, around probably 2015.
Okay.
First and only experience. I'm in my apartment and it's late. I used to stay up late, and woman I married would go to bed early. So I, stay up, play video games, do whatever you do, hanging out.
Right.
And I shut all the lights off. That's when I could, didn't have kids, didn't have to worry about stuff. Went into the bathroom. And before I leave the bathroom, because the hallway lights off right next to my bedroom, I'd shut the lights off in the bathroom, wait a minute, and then your eyes adjust to the night. You can see, actually.
Yeah.
It was so good. If you do it the right way, you could scare the crap out of people that have never experienced it before and don't know about it, and shut your lights off while you're driving down some of these New England roads. When the full moon's out, you can see and scare the crap out of people.
For sure. It gets very dark. Yes.
I kid you not. You can see the road crystal clear.
Okay.
It's nothing.
Don't try this at home, folks. Go on.
Yeah, don't try it at home, but it's real funny. Like, oh my God, we're going to die. No, you're not. We're good. So shut the light off. I walk out. My bedroom door is there. And when I go into my bedroom, I got to go to the right to get to my bed. I open the door, and standing in front of me is a shadow. It's a little bit higher than me. I'm 6'1", a little bit higher than me, wider. And I'm like, mother. And I go back and I take the shot at it. And it instantaneously just disappears.
That's kind of ballsy, dude, but go on.
Dude, you got somebody in my house, and
you got to do what you got to do, right? I get it. Yeah.
It's that's what I'm going to do, right? I walk in, I'm looking over like, where the hell did this go? I look over to the wife, and on her side of the bed, there's another shadow, and it's leaning in towards her. And I said, fuck this. And I ran at it. And I swear to God, I can't explain this any better than this, but I will swear it said, oh shit. And then I watched it dissipate. And from that point forward, the next day, I go to a meetup. That's where I met Al. And we had Rosemary Ellen Guiley in there, a friend of mine, and Al's. And she was a world-renowned researcher, investigator, author in the paranormal and this whole community. And she's doing a whole presentation on shadow people. And I'm like, Rosemary, I know there's no coincidences because I've had my first ever shadow person experience last night. And I explained everything. She goes, yeah, that's what they do. And I said, I know what they do. So here's the thing. The reason why people, they get closer to you and they lean into you and that fear, okay, that's very important. Keep that in your mind for a split second. So I always explain it this way. The more shadow people have been seen since the late 90s than any place other from that point forward.
Okay.
Roughly around when the Mandela effect was coined by Fiona Broome, a paranormal investigator.
Okay. So
what happened there is the first particle collider went online, giant particle collider, Femilab out of Illinois. It's huge. It's a huge ring. They ramped it up. And as soon as they ramped that thing up, something happened and they shut it down, and they shut it down for a while. So what I think happened is this. When they mess around with these particle accelerators, what happens? This is our timeline. This is the timeline right next to us. So what happens is when you have that explosion, boom, on the timeline, we get fractured. These get fractured like this. So now we have a little bit of this and this. And so up until 1990, whatever, everybody that knows it remembers the Fruit of the Loom with all that stuff. And they remember the Monopoly guy, Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah,
That's what we remember.
Yeah.
Okay. On this one, up until that point, they didn't have a Monopoly guy. Darth Vader didn't say that shit. None of that stuff happened. Okay.
Yep.
But what happens is when you break things, and then I believe these timelines slowly go back together and they heal, they mend. We got parts of the other timeline here. So now we have our point up to this point, and then from this point, we got their point going up.
All right.
Now on their timeline is, when the hell did the cornucopia come in? Where is this? This is what happens.
Yep.
So what happens is when you break something, right, and you try to glue it back together, it never works.
It doesn't fit right. Right. There's always a piece missing.
And I believe, this crack is visible to these creatures that are interdimensional based.
Okay, so
darker area. Hold on.
All right, go on. Finish, please.
It's darker on the interdimensional side, hence the wider, blacker eyes. And they see these like, what's that? And they crawl through it. Hear me out.
Please.
Black-eyed children sightings. What's taking place in Chicago right now with flying humanoids? Mothman. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Firm Lab was near Illinois and Chicago. It is huge crack there. Big energy explosion. Mothman. What was taking place there? A munitions dump was there. Explosions. Big energy. Fractures. Concussions.
Okay.
By every university, no matter where it is, in the late 90s and on, they all have their own colliders. They're on a smaller scale. So they're doing particle colliding. All of these things keep fracturing and opening doorways into the next dimension. And if you correlate where black-eyed children sightings are, I guarantee you within a certain radius, no more than 100 miles, you will find a university that has a particle accelerator.
Okay, well, that's fair. Okay.
So this is like Monsters, Inc. The reason why they scare the crap out of you, the reason why they come at you and you get this fear, your adrenaline goes, that's food for them. You remember Monsters, Inc.?
Mm-hmm.
Sully goes through the door to the kid, scares the kid. It fills up the battery.
Yeah.
And then he goes back out.
Absolutely.
It's the same principle.
I think they totally feed off energy and emotions. One thing I got to say. All right. So.
Yes, sir.
Shadow people. Let me just address this really quick. So, in my years as an investigator, I started in about 2008 after like a really pivotal series of events. Before that time, I had experiences, but couldn't. Well, sometimes I could equate it to the paranormal, but I wasn't like seeing a ghost or seeing like an image. I was having a feeling or having a sensation or like whatever. I did a lot of. I'm a big history dork and I always have been. So I've been to a lot of like famous places around the world, like around the United States. So I've gotten that like uncomfortable feeling that I get now that I can attribute to the paranormal. So in 2008, I worked in a group home in Rhode Island, and I took a full-time position. I was doing like per diem work, and I took a full-time position. I was getting married. My wife needed medical benefits. I'm like, all right, let me do the overnight shift because it's easy. I don't have to deal with all the behaviors. All the shit that comes with first and second shift. I'll like do third shift. I'll work on schoolwork. I'll do whatever. So it started. People were telling me like stories of like stuff that would happen. I'm like, I'm gonna come in here at 10 o'clock at night, work 8 hours by myself. 6 children are sleeping. Don't tell me these fucking ghost stories. I don't want to hear this shit. At that point in my life, I was like, all right, I had these experiences. Then like I went looking for it in my teens. I didn't find it. So I was starting to go like the skeptic road. Like this is all like a scapegoat. People are just putting it in your head. That's what you're thinking of. Like I was trying to make every rational excuse for it until I started having my own experiences. It came to a head point about, it was like 2 days after I came home from my honeymoon. It was a Monday going into a Tuesday. I went into work. I did all my initial stuff, my cleaning, whatever. and I was sitting. It was a 4-bedroom house. One of the bedrooms had 3 boys in it, and so there always had to be a staff that posted because of the kids in DCY have whatnot, so they have certain issues.
Yeah.
So every kid had a monitor on their bed. So as soon as the kid would get out of bed, they would be doo-doo, so you knew the kid was getting up, so you could do what you had to
Just
do.
check on them to make
Right,
sure.
or whatever. They're not like doing weird shit in their room together. So I'm like, start of the night, I like suddenly get like super emotional, dude. To this day I couldn't tell you why, but I started like bawling my eyes out for about a half hour, and I couldn't and I pulled myself in. I'm like, buddy, everything's cool. You just got married. You're doing great. Just focus on what you got to do. About 4:30 in the morning, I'm putting like dishes. I'm unloading the dishwasher. I'm getting like the area ready for the kids when they start waking up, getting meds ready and stuff. And I'm like right behind me. There's this 3-boy bedroom, maybe 2 feet, and I hear doo 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 doo. The motion sensor keeps going off. So I turn around. It's a dark room. I see this figure starting to emerge. I'm about 6'4". I'm a big dude.
Right.
About here on me is probably like
5'6",
5'5", 5'6", we'll say.
Yeah.
Comes out and I could see the head, the shoulders. I could see the sway. So I thought it was this kid, Russ. I was done like, Russ, you got to use the bath. And as I started to say bathroom, this figure emerged from this room. I could see through it, but it was shadow. It was a shadow.
Right.
It walked right in front of me, and then went to go in the room, and it was like, and it was gone. I grabbed that countertop and I froze, dude. I didn't shit my pants, but it was a miracle.
No,
and that was my moment. So
yeah,
from that moment until about, I'd say 6 years ago, I'd see the shadows. I'd see like shadowy movement. I'd see shadowy movement directly in front of my face. And then I started experimenting more with like Reiki and Qigong, and I started having more. Now I see people from time to time, not all the time.
You're opening up your third eye.
Yeah.
And what? Can I give you my 2 cents?
Give me your 2 cents.
I pick up on all this stuff. So as I explained to my daughter, I'm a human lie detector.
Mm-hmm.
So when people talk to me and they tell me their stories, if they're telling the truth, I actually see it play out. So I can see it happening in real time, as if I was there. The caveat, well, if people say if they're bullshitting, it's black. I don't see anything.
Right.
So I actually saw what you were doing. I saw the kitchen. I know exactly where you were.
Yeah.
It was as if I was there, like I'm watching a movie. And the caveat for the black stuff is, and I give a caveat to some friends, like when you're hanging out with your buddies, and one guy tells a really cool story, and somebody else wants to like be part of the cool thing, so they make some shit up. Mm-hmm. They're lying, but you're allowed to do it on a safe face. So what I think you saw is a ghost.
Yes,
ghost.
I think so also.
Not a shadow, not a shadow person, but you saw a ghost, a smoky kind of thing.
Pause. Yeah. So another woman that I work with, that when I finally started like coming out with this, like, hey, you got to talk to this woman, Lillian. Like, you don't think I'm crazy? No. This is a thing. This woman, Lillian, would see the same size figure, but she would see the woman that it was, and she could describe how this woman was dressed. So go on. I'm sorry.
No, this is okay. So here's something that's very important when you're working in the healthcare field.
Yep.
You deal with everything from good to bad.
Yes.
To happy to sad and so much more. You're emotionally connected. You're also spiritually more open than anybody else, like a construction worker.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a shit. I got the job. I'm doing the work. I'm putting up, I'm framing. Leave me the F alone.
Yep.
Okay. Even though some of those guys see it too. So the emotional component is you're picking up on the spirits that are there. You're picking up on the emotions of some of these kids.
Yes.
That are actually projecting it. You can pick that up easily. You have
Yes.
you must have a huge empath ability that you're probably aware of.
Yeah.
It is the worst freaking ability in the planet.
Mhm.
When I walk down the street, oh God, if it's crowded, I do a lot of blocking because I'm unless you're asking me to read you, I'm not going to read you.
Mhm.
Okay. I read my two daughters. I got two vaginas I got to watch out for. Okay. And they're old enough, and I've been doing it since they were little. So I'll read them and I'll read their friends.
Amen, brother. That's great.
Yeah. And you know, thankfully my oldest daughter has a great boyfriend. And they're holding off, which but I read him too. And I know he's like, I want to be so, you know, and he's whatever. She's 18, I'm gonna be 19. It's guess what? It happens. Move on, right?
Right.
So you're picking up on this stuff. You're in this field. The nighttime is just that little extra something, you know, special that je ne sais quoi. But I don't know if that there was an event that took place in that house, and something's telling me someone died.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and
Two people died.
the specter, the ghost that's coming in, that the other woman sees,
Mhm.
and you're seeing in chat whatever because you're not fully there yet at
Mhm.
that time. You're picking up on the woman's emotions too, the pain. That's why you were sobbing. You
I
were
was
just
sobbing like a child, dude. I couldn't to this day. I couldn't tell
because
you why.
your emotions kicked in, and
Mhm.
you felt what she was feeling at the time that she was there for that death. And it's a shame when kids die so young, but what people don't realize
So
is,
I did
yeah,
I'm a history dork. So as a history dork, I needed like something concrete. So Lillian told me that I should just talk to them. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean talk to them? She's like,
you
just
can
talk
talk
to
to
them. I'm
them.
like with my mouth. She's like, with your mouth, stick it in your head, do whatever you're gonna do. I'm like, like it sounds nuts. But I needed to figure out who I was talking to. So I went down to local city hall. I dove into the research of the place. The group home had owned it. They had bought it from a couple that were partiers because one of their friends worked with me, so I knew they were alive. Before that they had bought it from a family of five. This couple raised like four boys there. The parents were alive. They're in their late 90s. They live in a nursing home in Lincoln, Rhode Island. The three sons were all alive and well. And then the original couple, the people who built the house in 1926, they were immigrants from Italy. They came over in about 1919. Their name were Mr. and Mrs. Piranunzi. They're buried in the Precious Blood Cemetery in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Another very haunted place. And I found their grave. I said a little prayer. I went into work that night. I shut all the bedroom doors. I stood in the middle of the kitchen where, like, the center of it. It was a bevy. It wasn't just a shadow person. It was a bevy of shit that happened in 4 months. And I shut all the doors. And I'm like, Mr. and Mrs. Piranunzi, this is a beautiful house, beautiful woodwork, hand carving. This guy built his own house. I love this house. It's a beautiful house. I'll do my best to take care of it, but I'm not here for you. I'm here for the kids that are in this house. I'm here for their safety. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear you. Leave me alone. Right? And I started laughing. And I went out to smoke a cigarette because that's what I did then. I came back in. That was November of 2008. I worked there until the following May, June of the next year. I'd never had another experience there ever. So I'm like, after that, I'm like, this shit is something, and I want more. And the terror turned to adrenaline, and I'm like, I want this. So I'm sorry, go.
One of the persons lost in that house,
yes,
was a baby.
I believe because they didn't have
like
children. They had the house until 1939, tail end of the Depression, and they foreclosed the mortgage, and they both died within the year.
It was like a miscarriage, and that killed the one of them, and they'll never. It's heartbreaking, unless you've had one, or your your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. You're there. It's really it depends on how you look at it. I changed my views on a lot of stuff. I believe miscarriages are God's way of saying you're not prepared to do this now, and he just stops it, and
Yeah.
because they know you're not ready, or also the one coming in isn't ready.
Okay.
But yeah, I that's what you were picking up on in the home.
Oh, for sure. I think no. So another piece of this that I've discovered over the several years of doing this. Not only am I have this whatever gift, if you like, I don't really call it a gift. I don't feel like I'm gifted. My mother, who's nearly blind, sees fully formed apparitions, people, and can describe them very accurately. My aunt, her sister, is a therapist and a holistic healer, and she does Reiki, and she investigated with me for a number of years, and she sees spirits all the time. Do you feel like this is a hereditary thing, something that's passed down through the bloodlines?
I feel it's a God-given thing.
Okay.
When God created man in his image, and man meaning mankind, I'm not getting into the women.
Not just boys and girls. Yeah.
Let's get the politics shit out.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
One of the things he gave you is your third eye, your pineal gland, and the ability to have a telephone to God. This is why also some religions, they put on, like Jews put on tefillin. There, it looks like boxes, and then they wrap their heads, and it goes over their arms. That's a telephone to God. You actually can talk to God. That's why when the head is very sacred, and the human body, when you die, no one's supposed to touch your head, because that's a conduit for your soul to take off, and it's into some really weird things here.
Of course.
So I think it is hereditary, but I say this all the time. Women get it more often.
Yeah. I noticed all the mediums I know, most mediums are women.
Right. Because women use two sides of their two hemispheres. Always. Men that are artistic, mathematical, quantitative, musical, technical, they too are using two parts of their brains. And you are not only getting that from your family, but you also expand on it, because once you start opening yourself up on the healthcare end of it and the compassion of these kids, it's money too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
No, but
not great money, but it's
never great money, and
it's feeling good at the end of the day sometimes about, like, you change one person's life, or you do something that impacts somebody
it doesn't always
very deeply. It doesn't always,
no.
It's more heartbreak. But go on.
Yeah, it's a lot more heartbreak, but that you have the compassion in there, and that is a virtue. God wants you to have compassion. God wants, I'm again getting into whatever. I'm going to say Yeshua instead of Jesus, because that's his real name. But he told you the only way to God the Father is through me. And I'm not going to debate any of that. But what he's trying to say is, when he did what he did, is he's going to teach you how to use. He's a teacher. He's telling them, listen to what I'm telling you. Don't go in that building. You don't go to that temple. You don't be held back by those money lenders, and you don't need that. You talk to the Father by yourself. So that's what I'm trying to say.
That's I'm not a giant fan of organized religion.
No, I'm not either.
But I'll tell you, I grew up going to Catholic schools. My parents are Catholic, and I had a Catholic priest, Father
Black and Decker.
No, Father something. But anyway, Father told me that you don't need to go to church. You don't need to sit in a building with 50 other people, or how many other people all singing the same song, all doing whatever. You can have your own relationship with the Lord, and honestly, I just try to live a good life every day. I try not to shit on people too much.
I'm a spiritual person. I don't conform to organized religion.
Mhm.
Because
I think
organized
there's a lot of
religion breeds
awful people sit in churches for whatever
control.
reason, you know.
Well, organized religion is control.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Monsters walk the earth, dude. It's
yeah, exactly. So,
and they
hey,
use religion. you
as
know?
I say, my new phrase now for people is when they question when I say that, like, if you're really religious or a believer in God and all that stuff, you're not going to church. You don't have to,
Right.
and you know this. And but you do you, boo. That's what I say to people, and I'm not here to just harsh anybody or piss people off.
No.
Whatever works for you does it. I don't
Right.
care what you do, whatever works for you. But it's really it's interesting because growing up, I've always had conversations with God. I've cursed him. Recently, I cursed him again because he's just whatever.
Yeah.
And throughout my life, and I grew up not poor, working class. My dad lost his job, 3 brothers, whatever. So it was tough, but like God asking you shall receive. I heard all the junk, whatever. And I have my own relationship with God. And then it wasn't until 2017 that I actually had a personal religious experience. I actually had something else prior to that, but every time I tell that story, people say it's sacrilegious. But I had an interaction with Jesus personally. And I wasn't born into that, by the way. So I don't go into it because all the people born again, that's sacrilegious.
Yes.
I'm like,
Oh God, I can't stand
you
it.
just blocked me. You didn't listen, and you just shut me down. But there's a message there, so you'll find out the hard way. So whatever. So basically, starting a new company, screen printing and branding. We got a job from a friend of ours whose son is deaf in one ear and partially hearing in another. It's the Clark School. Actually, they're up in Boston, I believe.
Yeah, I know Clark.
Clark School.
Clark University, yeah.
No. It's just the Clark School. It has nothing
Clark
to do with
School.
Clark University. I don't think it has anything to do with Clark University, but they help hearing impaired children from birth up to a certain age. How to not be hearing impaired, not meaning you're going to lose it, but how to work in the world around you. Amazing. So they do this walk in the Bronx Zoo. So they need church. So I'm in the Bronx. I go. We got a meeting with them. They're on the east side of the Manhattan Island. Cut across the West Side Highway. I'm flying through Central Park. Go down a 45-degree angle on 46th Street. Moving in my Honda Pilot. Get over to the east side. Cut up. Now, normally I would just take the garage and go upstairs.
Yep.
Because finding parking in New York City is like finding parking in Boston. Good luck.
Yeah, right. It sucks.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
There.
Or have a lot of money.
Yeah. Like on the street, really not going to happen. So we find a spot on the left-hand side. It's a freaking miracle. Do the parallel parking, back in, pull forward, back, forward, back, one more time forward, hop. My brake pedal goes directly to the floorboard.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh,
shit. Yeah.
So I'm like, I think I just blew my brake line. And I get out. Mind you, I didn't have a job for a year and a year and a half. Or no, I just lost my job. Very tight on money. Get out. I said, F it. I'll deal with this later. We have the interaction. I see my friend's son, and they didn't believe that we knew him. And they called him over. We have some friends of yours here. And he, Bryan. And he ran over, gave me a hug. I've always been great with kids. My niece, she's 28 years old. She's still, hi, Uncle Bryan. She's like, this is what it is.
Yep.
Because I would sit down there. I'd have the tea party. I treat them, with the greatest respect and, joke around because I'm a fun guy. And they just, kids know. If kids know, pets know. I'm allergic to cats. They always fucking come over to me. But I'm going to, it's just they know.
Why you got to pick me, guy?
Right? Right? So we get the job, we pretty much get the job. We go up, and now I got to figure out how am I going to get this woman that I married, big mistake, from Manhattan up to the Bronx where my kid is getting out of school. Okay. She's got to pick her up. She's like 5-6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Almost that time. And then I got to take this car from Manhattan all the way up, like 40 miles up to a dealership because they've always treated me right. And I'm walking and I'm running. I got so little money. I say, here, you go. I called the cab, take a cab, go uptown, get the kids, get the car, meet me up at the dealership. I'll wait for the tow truck.
Mm-hmm.
I am walking up 70 something street, and I'm mother this. I'm gonna curse. I'm a sense about how can you do this? I don't have the money. I don't have a job. Like, and I'm cursing him, right? God. And then I take a second, I look over and I see the car. And I stop. And I said, it all played out. My car is sitting perfectly in a spot. Yeah, the brakes went, but after I perfectly made it into a spot, not when I was traveling 60 miles an hour down a 45-degree angle, where if the brakes went, I would have went through a mosque and started an international crisis.
Oh, Jesus.
Plus, I would have killed however
Muhammad,
if not myself. It happened when I finally got parked in a spot.
Yep.
And I stopped and I went, I'm sorry. I got it. I understand now. Thank you. And from that point forward, well, this is all paranormal based.
Yes.
That point forward, you've got to look at things in a different angle, especially with the paranormal.
Yeah, of course.
You can't come in.
It's not direct at all.
Like, ooh, how come you don't haunt me? No, don't do that.
Right.
If someone came into your house and went, ooh, why don't you make the flashlight turn on? You know what you do?
Fuck off, dude.
You go, come here.
Throw it. Yeah.
Right? So it's all in your approach. It's all in the way you view it.
Yep.
Most people don't. That's all.
Just talking to people here, guy. We're just
right.
It's just people, right?
But your compassion. You're tired. You want better money. Like I didn't like when I was growing up. I was going to play for the Red Sox.
Yeah, right.
You had dreams,
but
it didn't work out. So you could say this sucks, or you can do something about it. And the same thing with the paranormal. Like, my gifts and abilities, I've had them since I was little. I would go and say, hey, is Uncle so-and-so, how's he feeling? And my mother's like, he's fine. Why would he not be fine? Oh, nothing. Walk out, because my mother was real mean. As I'm walking, away, the phone rings. Hey, what's up? Yeah, Uncle so-and-so just had a heart attack. I know things about people.
Intuition. That's what they call intuition. Yeah.
It's intuition. It's premonition. I know stuff.
Your subconscious connection to the universe, as Carl Jung would describe. Yeah.
Well, that too. But what you're really doing is, you have direct access to the past, present, and future, and you can see things past, present, and future. You know what's going to happen. But as a kid, I didn't understand the concepts behind it.
Right.
It's like my daughter, my youngest, they both are intuitive. They have these gifts. My oldest was seeing things in mirrors, and it scared the shit out of her. She stayed between me and her mom for over almost 2 years in bed. Zero intimate life whatsoever. I mean, she was terrified. Yeah. And I believe in this stuff, and I know about the stuff. Her mother, no, she doesn't. Like, oh, you guys crazy, right? And I'm not.
You don't know. You don't know, lady.
Yeah, you don't know until you know, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
So my youngest, I raised her, and let me tell you, buddy, this is how it started. She's a pain in the ass since day one. In utero, she was like, here's her ultrasound. Okay, let's go to the right side. And she would just keep, and And then when she was born, I cut the cord. They said, Dad, go with her to the nursery. So they put that little gangster hat on her, and then they clean her up. And I swear to God, she's lying there naked, and she's got her middle finger up, facing into the nursery like near fuckers, right? This is my youngest, and swear to God, this is my young. This is exactly who she is. So my grandmother was more of a mother than my mother. Our house was being. My brother lived there, destroyed it. Whatever. I had to get my stuff out. I was like frustrated. So my daughter's mom was in there getting stuff out. And I said, I gotta go sit in the car. I'm gonna blow up. Look what they did. This is our oasis.
Yep.
So and she needs a nap. So I put her in the car. It's hot. I'm sitting in front of the house in the house that they had, and I'm sitting there and I'm just steaming and stewing. And I'm like, sorry, Grandma. Sorry. Yeah, he just destroyed your beautiful house, whatever. And it's about 30 minutes in, and I hear a voice in the back. Now, my daughter is maybe 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. But she's speaking. She goes, here, I was with your grandmother before I came here. I said, excuse me, what? She goes, I was with your grandma before I came here. I said, you were? She goes, yes, I was. She's a very nice lady. I said, yeah, she was the best. She goes, but she does this terrible thing with her mouth. So I said, what does she do with her mouth? And she goes, she starts humming like,
yeah.
My eyes widened.
Right.
And I'm like, no pictures of her in my house, no discussions of her, not even her name. She knew nothing about my grandmother. But my grandmother, she was definitely with her. Used to hum. That was her thing. And it used to annoy the crap out of me. And I go, Grandma, stop humming. It's annoying. And she'd stop. How does my 4 or 5 year old never doesn't even know who she is, never seen a picture? She just told me, I was with your grandmother before coming here. She's remembering where she was. It gets better.
Jesus.
Got a buddy that comes over. This is the best, though. And I work with her. And he's talking about, that, I'm still with her. And, I'm thinking about talking about marriage. My daughter will go up, oh, really? But what about the other one you have on the side? His face goes, he looks at me, because there's certain things that you and your buddies will talk about. Even if your buddy knows your wife or whatever, you won't talk about it, right?
Right.
Private, that's a buddy thing. Like, and if they hear something back, like, what the hell did you tell these people? So I knew he had a chick on the side. He's single. He's allowed to,
Yeah.
And my daughter goes, oh, really? You're going to put a ring on that? But what about the girl that you're also basically saying doing? And I go, I tell her, honey, no, come here. And my buddy's like shaking at this point. And I go tell her privately, I'm like, no, you're not. Don't bring that up. That's not funny. Don't bring it up. We'll talk about it later. And I explain things to her. He has no control over it, though. I mean, she's got more control over it now because she's like close to 14. Yeah. But I have my conversations. Do you read people? She goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I know things about people.
That's awesome.
Here's an example for all of those people that have people in their lives that you should have never married. You want to get rid of. No, seriously, that don't believe in what you believe in, what you do. I'm in the kitchen. Her mother's in the kitchen, and my daughter's there. And I said, I'm a human lie detector. And she goes, and everybody's listening. She goes, oh, yeah, really? I said, yeah. If you tell me the truth, I'm going to see it in my head. If you're lying to me, it's black. But I know everything about everyone. She goes, oh, yeah. She goes, okay, what about my friend, blah? She was having an issue.
Yep.
So I start, boom, she does X and Y and Z, and I start going through it. I forgot what it was at this point, and she's looking at me, smiling, and her mom goes, "Oh, honey, Daddy's just playing with you." And my daughter goes, "No, Mom, he's 100% correct." And she was taken back by it. She wasn't expecting that. So when I tell you, I this is what I do. I do it.
Yeah.
My abilities came in like knowing things. It wasn't until I contacted our psychic for our group in Arkansas. I just want to get to that one question when you found out, because I don't know how much time you have left. And
we only have a couple minutes left, Brian.
yeah,
so
I don't want. I was looking at the clock. Sorry,
yeah,
folks.
no worries,
But,
too.
I'm more than happy to come back and we can get into real details.
Oh my God, yes. But go finish. Go ahead, finish.
She said, an investigation. We use our friend Cindy Bailey Dove, who's our psychic, to read everybody going on the trip or the investigation because it could be dangerous. So we did an investigation. One of the first ones with Al. Al had her. I didn't know about Cindy at the time. He goes, "You people were okay. You, Paul, she gets a little tingle, means that you're, like you can be more psychic or you can be more open to it." And Al goes, "And then she got to you." Just like that. Fell off a chair. She says, "You got a shitload of abilities, a lot of which more than she does, and some that she doesn't. But you have walls up."
Yep.
And I said, "Damn straight I do. I live in New York City. I put a club on it too."
Oh yeah, I bet.
So I said, "I want to investigate this." And I contacted her. I said, I don't want this to be a Pandora's box, but I want to go dig deeper into it.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, okay." And she knew it was a Pandora's box. So did I, but let's go. So she talked to me about grounding and stuff, which is very important when you're doing these things. And I always ground myself or protect myself in a bubble, a white golden bubble of light that has mirror on the outside and the protection, love of God. And I can see out, but no one can see in.
Yeah, you gotta protect yourself, kids.
100%. It's kind of like the paranormal condom. You need to have it.
You just need it. Yeah,
you really
just wrap it up, kids. You'll thank us someday.
Seriously. So I started doing it. I started doing things. I started focusing. I started meditating a bit and more and working on my third eye. I started decalcifying it. And it's like a muscle. You start with 2 pounds, right? And then you go, okay, I've been doing this for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm going to go to 5. Go to 5. And then when you go to 5, your muscles beget muscles. And you start getting muscles in places you have. Just like as you get older, you get hair in places you don't want. And use it in places you want, right? Same thing. So it's a muscle and you start utilizing it. From day one, she goes, "You're psychic like me." And I said, "No, I'm a remote viewer." Because I've been doing shit like this all the time, but I can mentally get into your head and I can communicate with you too.
That's awesome.
I used to do it on the back of an express bus from Manhattan back to the Bronx. I sit in the back and focus, go, "Turn around. Come on, turn around. You want to turn around." And I was bored. 45 minutes on the bus. What am I going to do?
Right.
And you get people peeking around sheepishly. And then you get some people that turn around like, "Cut it out." They don't realize how psychic they are.
Right.
They're like, "Cut the shit."
Oh my God.
Back to their regular life. So this is what I've been doing, but I still do remote viewing. I have when I would see things, I have a 98% accuracy rate. I'm not doing this for pat in the back. I'm just telling you. I also, I'm able to connect to things when I sleep. We'll call it dreamland. You have 2 things that take place: dreams and experiences. We got to go into that later on.
Absolutely. We do have to wrap, right. Yeah. Unfortunately, dude, I could pick your brain just about dead people for like 2-3 hours easily. We could. It's been a very flowing conversation. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. There's been topics that I wanted to touch on we haven't even touched, but that's fine. I'd love to have you back on.
Tell me when, but I mean, because there's a ton of different experiences and
go shit alone and dead people alone. I could talk all day.
Yeah, I mean,
for our viewers, for people who have been tuning in, where can people find more about you, what you're doing, your podcast? Where
Sure.
can people find all that?
I'd really like to subscribe. I'm trying to get to over 1,000. I had them in other accounts, and it's a new account. My show is called Third Eye Live. It's every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. This week we have Boone Foggin from the band Otis on. It's basically how your third eye, your intuitiveness, spiritual whatever guidance has led you on the path. That could be art, music. We talk about ghosts, paranormal, and everything.
Yep.
It's under my YouTube, Bryan Bowden. So the @ symbol underneath my name there, @ Bryan Bowden, just put youtube.com/ and then @ Bryan Bowden. You will get to my channel. It's on a playlist. Hit the bell so that you're notified. We do it every Wednesday, and I do other interviews. You can meet me there. I'm on every platform. I'm Bryan M. Bowden on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever they want to call it. I used to do TikTok, but it's just
TikTok's a pain in the ass. Yeah. Incredible. We got to do this again.
There's tons.
Speaking of doing it again,
looking at me in the car the other day. Whatever.
Yeah, Well, definitely. Speaking of doing it again, tune in next week, next Tuesday, as we welcome UFO guy David Worthen. He's going to join us. So much UFO stuff that been going on lately in the world that doesn't seem to be oh my god, all this shit I put up by that nobody's oh, look at all this stuff. We're gonna
of it. I've seen
touch base on all that next week.
Touch base on it, but coming before the end of 2026, the UFOs will make their own presence known. There's not going to be a disclosure by the government. It'll be by the UFOs.
That's even more awesome. So tune in next week for more of that. Three Dudes Brews, we're set to release our episode of The Guild, one of the biggest breweries in America, based right here in Rhode Island. For all that, tune into anybody there.
Any from Boise up in the northern area?
I'm sorry, what?
From Brosie. It's like a beer with a raspberry.
I have heard of it. I don't think I've had it, but I am a big fan of wheat beer with the little bit of fruit in it.
That's one of my look for from Brosie. I promise you, it comes in little bottles.
Yes.
Ice cold on a summer's day. Don't plan on walking any place or driving.
No. And Buddy has a driver. No, that's fine.
But no, that's fine.
You're definitely it's okay. Tune in for all that amazing content here on Van Down by the Rev or Three Dudes Bruce. For Sir Bryan Bowden, it's been a fantastic pleasure, Brian. It's been me, buddy. There, the Ghost and the Goat. Have a good week, folks. Go Red Sox. Jesus Christ. Peace.